Welcome to Chronos Quality. In the previous video, we explored a critical idea. Most 5S programs do not fail because they start badly. They fail because they cannot sustain performance over time. And we identified that the problem is not the tool. The problem is the absence of structure. Now, we take the next step. Because if there is one mistake that consistently undermines 5S implementations, it is this. 5S is not managed as a project. It is treated as a set of activities. And this distinction, although subtle, defines the difference between temporary improvement and sustainable transformation. This mistake is not obvious. In fact, most organizations believe they are doing things correctly. There are action plans. There are assigned responsibilities. There are deadlines and expectations. On the surface, everything seems organized. But when we look deeper, something fundamental is missing. There is no real project structure. There is no defined governance. No clear prioritization logic. No structured rhythm of execution and follow-up. And without these elements, what exists is not a system. It is a collection of disconnected efforts. This is a critical distinction. Activities create movement. But movement is not the same as progress. In many organizations, 5S is executed through a series of actions. Teams clean their areas. Workstations are reorganized. Visual standards are introduced. Materials are identified and labeled. All of this creates visible change. And that visibility creates confidence. But visibility is not sustainability. Because these actions are not connected through a structured logic. There is no continuity between what was done yesterday and what must be done next. There is no prioritization guiding what should be done first. There is no system ensuring that what was improved will be maintained. And without that, improvement becomes fragile. One of the most dangerous aspects of this situation is the illusion of control. When organizations create action lists, it feels like things are under control. When tasks are assigned, it feels like responsibilities are clear. When deadlines exist, it feels like progress is being managed. But control is not defined by activity. Control is defined by structure. Real control exists when priorities are clear and aligned, resources are focused on what matters most, progress is visible and measurable, and decisions are made based on structured information. Without these elements, control is only perceived, not real. Let's shift perspective. Implementing 5S is not a simple operational task. It is a transformation process. And every transformation requires a project structure. Not a complex structure. Not a bureaucratic structure. But a clear and disciplined structure. A structure that answers fundamental questions. Where are we going? What are the priorities? Who is responsible? How will progress be monitored? How will obstacles be addressed? Without clear answers to these questions, execution becomes reactive. With clear answers, execution becomes intentional. A project is not defined by complexity. It is defined by clarity. Clarity of direction ensures alignment. Clarity of priorities ensures focus. Clarity of responsibilities ensures accountability. Clarity of follow-up ensures continuity. And perhaps most importantly, clarity of rhythm ensures momentum. Because without rhythm, even the best plans lose energy. Another common mistake is the way planning is approached. Many organizations attempt to define the entire 5S journey at the beginning. They create detailed plans, extensive action lists, complete roadmaps. And this creates a sense of confidence. But it also creates rigidity. Because real operational environments are not static. Priorities change. Unexpected issues arise. Resources fluctuate. Constraints evolve. And static plans cannot adapt to dynamic realities. This is where a shift is required. Instead of trying to predict everything in advance, organizations must adopt a model of continuous prioritization. A model where planning and execution are integrated. Where priorities are reviewed regularly. Where decisions are based on current conditions, not outdated assumptions. And where the system evolves as the organization evolves. This does not reduce control. It increases relevance. Effort is necessary. But effort alone is not enough. Execution without structure creates noise. Structure without execution creates stagnation. The objective is to integrate both. A structured system that enables consistent execution. A system where actions are selected based on impact, priorities are clearly defined, progress is continuously monitored, and adjustments are made in a disciplined way. This is what transforms activity into results. Most organizations do not intentionally ignore structure. They underestimate it. They believe that training is enough, initial engagement is sufficient, and that once implemented, the system will sustain itself. But improvement does not sustain itself. It competes with everything else in the organization. And without structure, it loses that competition. So the transition is clear. 5S must move from a set of isolated activities to a structured project. From execution without coordination to execution with governance. From static planning to continuous prioritization. From effort-driven improvement to system-driven improvement. This transition is what defines whether 5S will fade or evolve. When 5S is treated as a project, several things change. Decisions become clearer. Priorities become visible. Progress becomes measurable. And leadership becomes engaged in the right way. The organization stops reacting and starts managing improvement intentionally. This is where sustainability begins. Now that we understand that 5S must be managed as a project, a new question emerges. If we need structure, what kind of structure should we use? Should we rely on traditional models? Or is there a more effective way to manage execution in dynamic environments? In the next video, we will explore exactly that. We will see how agile thinking, particularly concepts inspired by Scrum, can help create a more adaptive, structured, and effective way to manage 5S. Because at the end of the day, improvement is not about doing more. It is about doing the right things, in the right order, with the right structure. And that is what transforms temporary effort into sustainable results. If you want to understand how to move from isolated actions to structured execution, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and continue with this series. And I would like to ask you something. In your organization, is 5S managed as a project? Or is it still treated as a collection of activities? Share your thoughts in the comments.